thank you once again for joining for this important discussion on password and security account protection with our esteemed guest. In today's digital landscape, securing our online accounts is more critical than ever. Cyber threats, data breaches, and identity theft are on the rise, making it essential to adopt strong security practices. Dr. Khan, a renowned expert in his field, will be sharing his insights on best practices for creating and managing secure passwords, multi-factor authentication, and how to stay ahead of evolving cyber threats. We encourage you all to participate, ask questions, and share your thoughts as we explore ways to enhance online security. And Dr. Saab, thank you once again. I really appreciate that you have taken the time out. It's wonderful having you with us in today's session. And I would like request you to please introduce yourself formally to the attendees of this webinar. To all listeners.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me in this session. Shakil Zawar, thanks a lot for managing all this. And my name is Muhammad Mubashir Khan, and currently I'm serving as the chairman of the Department of Computer Science and IT at NED University. And apart from that, I'm also serving as the co-principal investigator of the National Center for Cybersecurity at NED University. And also I'm serving as the director of the Center for Quantum Technologies at NED University. And right now, I am engaged in several activities of the Department of Computer Science, including the design and delivery of the curriculum of computer science, and specifically in the specialization of cybersecurity. So this is all about myself, and current activities also include research and development in the area of what I was saying. Yeah. So I'm currently also involved in several research projects as well, which are related to cybersecurity. One of them is related to the cyber threat intelligence platform. That is a kind of platform based on the blockchain technology in order to share the IOCs in an authenticated manner with all these stakeholders. Similarly, also quantum security work as well that is going on in my quantum technology lab. So there are several projects going on in that field as well. So overall, majority of the projects are related to cybersecurity. So this is all about myself, whatever I'm doing right now. I'm also engaged with some activities related to the area of quantum security and cybersecurity with the international universities as well, including the University of Leeds, from where I did my PhD and postdoctorate, and also with other universities and companies as well, which are actively working in this area. So regarding the topic which you have selected for today, that is the password and password security and account protection. Basically, it's nowadays everyone is concerned about this topic, as you have already mentioned that we are living in the age of digital assets. Everything is digital, and whatever you have is in the digital form, and everyone having the bank accounts or online accounts or online shoppings or email accounts and so on. So all digital, and everyone must have passwords and user IDs, and everyone has to manage all this. So the question is how better we can manage our passwords, our user IDs, and our online accounts. So this is extremely critical for everyone, and we have to. So the things are very basic and very straightforward, which we have to keep in mind while focusing on this topic. And if we keep those precautionary measures, or you can say those guidelines which are related to the safeguard and security of password in the online accounts, then we can easily protect ourselves.
Perfect, Dr. Sab. Thank you very much for the brief introduction and a high-level discussion on the topic of today. And I appreciate once again, since you are expert leader on the topic, we have a few questions which we request you to please give your thoughts and provide your inputs on the questions on the topics specifically, so that the people who are attending this and listening to you should understand and have better picture of why having strong passwords or following processes related with passwords and for account protection is necessary. With first question, I will start this session asking you, why is it important to use strong password for online accounts?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned earlier that everything is digital, and to protect everything in the digital form, in on online platforms, on your computers, the most often used the mechanism or the method for authentication is user ID password. So so this is a just like a key and the lock. If you have a key and you hand it over to anyone else, so of course someone can use that key to open the lock, and he can get anything whatever you have inside the lock. So similarly, the digital assets, they are protected through the authentication mechanism that is most widely used as user ID password. And if you do not protect and keep secret your password, and you do not make it strong, then of course someone else would be able to acquire it, and he will be able to open your account, or maybe he will be able to impersonate you, and he can do anything whatever he want with the equal powers which you have on your digital assets. And he can do anything, any kind of transaction. For example, if you just like do not protect your password for your bank account, then someone would be able to easily log in into your bank account, and he can do any kind of transaction, and he can transfer your money or whatever you have. And similarly, if you have your email account and you do not protect your user ID password for your email, then of course someone else would be able to log in, and he can send any kind of email from your account, or he can just change the password after logging in, and your account will be permanently gone in the hands of others. So the things could be very severe and very dangerous for you. And so that's why it is extremely important to follow the guidelines for the protection of passwords and the accounts.
Wonderfully explained, Dr. Mubashir. My second question would be, leading the explanation you have just given to my first question, how often should we change our password, and why do you think it is important?
So the logic behind changing the password is such that, if you have a password and you assume that someone else would be trying to guess your password, or over the period of time, you might have leaked it out because of some activity you were engaged in, or mistakenly you, left it somewhere else, and from there someone else would be able to acquire it, or someone would be able to brute force, and he continuously monitor, and then he would compromise your password. So there are so many things. Or maybe you just voluntarily leave your password on another platform, and from there someone would be able to find it out. Or maybe you have some device which you just leave it, and you are not using it, but you left your password there, and someone else would be able to take over that device, and he would be able to know what was your password, and he would be able to know to utilize your password. So it is extremely important to change your password as frequently as possible. But it will also be an hassle, like how frequently you would change the password. So the standard practice is, it is recommended that every 6 months at least you should change your password. Yeah.
Indeed, Dr. Saab, we all know that weak or reused passwords are one of the biggest vulnerabilities in cybersecurity today, and it is always. When people use the same password for multiple accounts, a single data breach can give hackers access, to several platforms, increasing the risk of identity theft, financial fraud, and so on. Anything can happen. So considering the same, we have created a poll for our attendees to take part in our discussion, so that we should get their feedback on and get to know what they are doing and how important for them. If they are familiar with the concept of having strong passwords, different passwords, how often they are changing their passwords. So I'll take your permission to start a poll, a short poll, to get
Yes,
an
please.
answer.
Yes, please. Of course.
Thank you very much, sir. So I've just started the poll. I request all the attendees to please select the option best suits them, so that we should understand how often do you change your passwords. It's very interesting to get involved with the attendees of the webinar, so that we should understand their knowledge base and their understanding of the topic. So we have received, well, that's very good. Dr. Saab, I believe you can see the poll results on your screen as well.
Yes, let me.
That's
So
great.
okay, we didn't but I think mm, I don't see any question there, although I've opened the the QA section
After
here.
the QA, there are polls. After QA there are
Oh,
polls.
okay, let me see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
the poll
okay.
results, you can look at them.
Okay, so the question was, how often do you change your password? So the answer has already been given, that at least every 6 months you have to change your password. And the
Yeah.
second question is, how confident are you in the strength of your current password? So okay, so
Let us, Dr. Saab, stay on the answers of the first question first. We later on will discuss the rest of the questions. So in the
okay,
first, we have, most of the people have said only when they are forced to change the password. So that is the driver, main driver. You can
okay.
see the answers, right?
Yes. Now I see the answers, like as someone would say, like is saying every few months, yeah, it 18% of the people are agreed with this. Once a year, 7%, only when forced to, and 59%. And I don't remember, someone says like 14%. So most of the people, they are saying that when you are forced to do this, then you have to do this. And according to the standard practices and the bodies like National Institute of Standards and Technology, what they recommend is that even if you are not forced, then at least after 6 months you should change your password, or maybe at least
Indeed.
after a few months of that. So yeah, so you have to change. It's logical that you should not keep your password for a long time. And as I told you before, that because of some activity in which you are engaged, you may leave some fringes about your password to other people, and they would be able to compromise your password over the period of time. So that's why. Yeah.
Indeed. So what we learned from this poll, Dr. Saab, if I'm not wrong, that people are drive by the force if it is applied. So when it comes to cybersecurity, even this is the minor, the most least importance people do give to even changing the password. We all know that how important it is, but people you don't give a priority changing password, or it's not the priority on their list of priorities that they have to change their passwords, as you have mentioned, more often or on a periodic basis. Like as you mentioned, in a minimum 6 months they have to consider changing their password, or maybe earlier than that.
And
But it is
yeah, with your permission, let me add you one more point here, which just popped
yes,
up in
sure,
my mind. That sometimes it happens that we voluntarily share our passwords on different platforms, and most of the time it happens with the people who are engaged in some official business, or the government organization or the banking sector and so on. Because what we have seen through the some cyber threat intelligence platforms, their results, that people, what they do, they use their official email addresses. Like someone is serving in a bank, ABC bank. So when he is using some online account, like the gaming platform or the online shopping platform, which are not normally very secure. So what they do, they just use their same user ID and password, the same email address of abcbank.com. And most of the time it happens that they also use the same password which they are using in their official office. So because of this, they just voluntarily give their user ID and password to any platform, which they don't know that whether these platforms are so much protected or not. And what happens that the other stakeholders and some hackers, they have linkages to these platforms, like gaming platforms and other platforms, and they just get their data from there. So, and from there they can get a lot of information, like who are you, and you are associated with ABC bank, or you are any financial industry or any government organization. And they also get your password as well. And they get your password. Of course you used it for the gaming platform, but because this most of the time it is the same as that of your official ID and password, then they start compromising your official account which you are using in your organization. And that may have very severe consequences. And because of this, if mistakenly someone has done this, then of course he has to follow this practice to frequently change his user ID password. If mistakenly or occasionally he has done something wrong like this in his life, then this could be a kind of remedy that you can get rid of the problem that you would have to face if you don't change it.
indeed, sir. And in addition to what you explained, I have just started a poll asking how confident are you in the strength of your current password, and that is exactly what you are trying to explain to the attendees, right? So I was earlier saying, Dr. Saab, that this is what we do on regular basis, that there should be a force driving us to follow a process or a procedure, or implement that within our daily procedures or processes we are following on daily basis. So if people are forced to do something by a system, or by in what I'm leading this discussion to, we are talking about we are since NEDs based in Pakistan. There are need of regulatory frameworks to be implemented within the country, so that people should be following those practices and procedures on daily basis, and implement those procedures and processes on their daily routine, so that they should not feel something that they are not it is not necessary for them to follow that practice, where this password protection is in discussion right now. So as you say, sir, they are saying that somewhat confident, because this answer, I don't think that it supports their first statement of attendees, isn't it?
uh, uh, yes, so here we can see that some people are 38% of the people, they are saying that they are very much confident that about their password strength. and some of
Yeah.
them they are, and most of them 44% they are saying somewhat confident, and which is more realistic answer in my opinion, and not very confident. Some people are saying they are not very confident, so of course they have to be confident by following the standard practices. And 11% of the people they say that I use the same password everywhere. So this could be very dangerous, as I told you before. So basically the point is, what is the factor which or what is the basis of this answer that yes, we are confident that our password is strong or not? So the point is, if we are following the recommendations of the standard organizations or the standard practices, then on the basis of that we can say yes, our password is is strong. For example, the normal recommendation for a good password is like you should include at least 12 plus characters or numbers, and that should consist of alphanumeric plus special characters plus uppercase and lowercase letters and so on, which should not be easily guessable. And you should have this formula in mind that if your password is having the uppercase letters, the lowercase letters, the numeric values, and the special characters as well, then you can say that yes, I am following the practices and it has enough good length of the password. Then of course we can say that yes, we are confident. So these are the practices. If we follow these practices, then of course you can say that that you should be confident. I think we have the next question on the screen. Do we use the same password for multiple accounts? And the most of the people they are saying no, I use unique password for every account. That is excellent. So it means most of the people they are on the right track. And some people are saying yes, for the convenience they are using the same password for multiple account, which is very dangerous, like you don't know that wherever you are storing your user ID and password on any platform, how protected it is, and most of the time it happens that apart from the official sites like Google or Facebook or maybe the X or Amazon, apart from that we use a number of other platforms in which some people they do online shopping, some people they do gaming or maybe something else. And these are the places from where the hackers they get your data and they misuse it. So it is my strong advice that we should avoid using the same password everywhere, or at least you should make a category of the password which you should use for the accounts which are not official, and gaming or online shopping or whatever. And you should use a class of password, keep them separate and use them for the official purposes and for the critical platforms like your Facebook account, your email account, or your bank account, and so on. So that would greatly help you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Once again, my next question, Dr. from you is, what is two-factor authentication?
Okay.
2FA, as
So
we all know it, and how does it improve security in your opinion?
yeah, so basically on one side, the customer side or the user side, that what kind of authentication is provided in the platform, so how appropriately I use that. So if I am just provided the opportunity to provide my user ID and password, then of course I should try my best to select a best password and keep it secret. But the platforms which are better platform, mature platform, they go beyond this and they try to protect you by providing some other means of authentication. And these other means of authentications are, for example, so the password is something which so if you remember your password, your password, it means that you are the right person. But what if someone would be able, through some means, would be able to get your password or to hack your password? So there should be a next layer from where you can filter this kind of people who are not the actual owner of the password, but they know the password. So At this point, we come to the next thing in which we say that something you have. So something you have means that if I have a mobile phone, or I have a dongle, or I have my email address, and on that a separate code is sent instantly on my either on the mobile phone or on the email, and I get that code from there, and then I have to provide that code to the system. So apart from providing my password, which I know, I also make sure that yes, I am the account holder of that particular email, or I got a certain, device or the mobile phone on which I got a code, and I have to provide that code. So of course, if someone has stolen my password, but when the passcode will be sent on the mobile phone, which is in my possession, then of course he will not be able to provide that passcode or the unique one time password or whatever. And this is what we call two factor authentication, meaning that you have to provide something, and you also have to prove that something you have. You have your mobile phone, you have your email address, you have a certain smart card or dongle or whatever, and you have to provide it to the system to tell it that yes, you are the owner of that, and it is in your possession. And if you prove it by providing the code or just inserting it into the system, then you pass the authentication layer. So this is called what we call two factor authentication, that apart from something, you should also prove that something you have. And here,
Very rightly explained, Dr. Thank you very much. Yes, please, please.
interesting polls as well, that how sorry, have you enabled multi-factor authentication? Okay, so because in this question you have also used the term multi-factor authentication, so we started with two-factor authentication, and
Yeah.
of course we cannot stick with two, we can go beyond that, and that's why we call it multi-factor authentication. So apart from something, and then something you have, and something, we should also extend it to something you are. For example, I have a system which asks about my password, which I remember and I provide it. After that, the same system also sent me some code on my email or on my mobile phone, and then I prove this the position of that mobile phone and provide that code, or I just insert the smart card or dongle and I prove it. So something which I have. And after that, I also have to prove then something you are. For example, the system has a camera, and it can scan my face, or it can scan my retina, or I can provide any kind of biometric which I have, for example my thumb impression, and so on. So this is the third layer which is added inside in the authentication process, and that is called the third factor, the three factor, or overall we call it multi-factor authentication. So if we go beyond the conventional user ID password mechanism, by asking something in the position of the user, and plus something the user is, like having the specific thumb impression as a biometric, or the retina, where the scan of the eye, or the overall face recognition. So this is what we call multi-factor or three-factor authentication. So here there are interesting results here. Most of the people, 58% of the people, they are saying that yes, on all my accounts I'm using multi-factor authentication. So the users, sometimes users are given the like opportunity to turn it on, whether they use multi-factor authentication or not. So if you find this option in any system, then you have to turn it on in order to add extra layer of security on the protection of your account. Yeah.
Ji, Dr. Saab, it is something you know, something you have, and something you are. That is what multi-factor authentication is all about. We have a poll. 22 out of 24 who are attending this session has answered the or taken part in the poll, and we request all to take part so that we should get the full
In
complete
the
feedback
meantime,
from everyone.
Yeah, in the meantime, let me add something more, which I remember around like a few years back. I had a undergraduate students group, and they were looking for a unique idea of their final year project. And then we did some brainstorming, and then we decided to work on the authentication mechanism by using artificial intelligence. And the after the brainstorming, we found the idea to work on the keystroke dynamics for the protection of the account. Like, for example, I have my password, I know it, and the way in which I enter my password, this is something that is always unique for multiple people. If I have my password and I enter my password in a certain way by having a certain gap between certain keys on my keyboard, and if the same password is acquired by someone else, the way in which he will enter the same password, which is my password, that will be quite different. And with the keystroke dynamics, the system was trained through machine learning. And after that, we came up with the solution that there are 5 persons who were entering the same password. One of them was the original person, and the system was able to recognize that who is the right person, although everyone was aware of the password. So this is something, like interesting ideas like this, which we can work on. And people are working on so many other things as well. As that most of the platform, they also provide you some images to recognize and to remember, and you have to click on them, and then you provide the right information, and the system will allow you to log in. So this is just an interesting project which I had earlier, so I wanted to share with you.
Definitely, sir. It's very interesting, and we must discuss further on that project after that webinar. I must request you. One of the attendees has raised a question, which you can see in your question answer as well. It's Muhammad bin Salim is asking, sir, what would I do? I create account on no application. How would I do to remember where I create an account when I change it?
Okay, how would I do to remember where I create an account when I change? So I think the best way is to use the password managers. So this is something, which is nowadays very important because of the emerging problem of having multiple accounts, and also having the need of keeping the accounts and the passwords secure. So the solution nowadays which is emerging, that is using the password managers. Password managers are the softwares which are trusted, and they are present on your system, and they keep the record of all of your user ID and passwords, and including the information about which user ID password belongs to which particular platform or the account. So using the password managers, if you use them appropriately, properly, then you will be able to solve this problem, like remembering multiple platforms, having the different user ID and password on all these platforms. So the password manager will greatly help you in managing all this. So of course there are a number of password managers, like on my Mac. Apple has also just provided a new password manager with the new version of Mac OS Sonoma, and some Chrome also providing its own, and there are some other third-party solutions as well. So the best way is to use the password managers.
Doctor, in addition to what you explained, can you please add a little bit? How can we create a secure password that is easy to remember, yet it is fulfilling the requirements of complex password requirements?
Yes, I think what we can do, like we use some kind of the keywords from a passphrase. Okay, But let's suppose I take a word, let's suppose quantum. Okay. And so quantum is my field, I can remember it. But with quantum, I take some numeric or the special characters, and after that I use another word which should not be linked with this. Let's suppose Tesla. Okay. The third word which I can use is thermodynamics. Or maybe the fourth, if you are related to sports, you can use the name of any sportsman, or the name of the sport, like football or whatever. So you use these passphrases which you are normally concerned. But whenever you use these passphrases and you use a combination of words, keep in mind that they should not be logically linked. For example, the atom has nucleus, and it has neutron and proton. So these are the words which are linked to each other, and someone would be able to guess, like if he is talking about the atom, then he will talk about electron or proton or whatever. So the words should be like it could be familiar, but they should not be linked with each other. Okay. Sometimes you are talking about like vegetables, on other side you are talking about the quantum technology, and the third side you talk about any sports or something. So take the combination of words in the passphrase which are not related to each other, and also insert the special characters and the numeric values, and also keep the combination of uppercase and lowercase. So in this manner you will be able to remember the words, and the words are not logically related, but these are the words which you normally remember, and you use some special characters and numeric values with them. So that will give you like a trade-off between the two, like you remember it also, and you also keep it secure.
Absolutely, Dr. Sir. Thank you very much. And just, it's not the topic of the discussion, just came to my mind because you are you're a specialist in quantum computing, and just came to my mind that I've gone through this recently, an update from Microsoft. You must be aware of that Microsoft recently announced significant advancements in quantum computing. Could you briefly explain what make this development so important? Because how does Microsoft quantum processor, like, I'm just specifically more concerned about on the topic, if we related to it, because of the data at rest and its cryptography techniques which are being followed in today's world. When we talk about quantum computing came into existence, those cryptography techniques are going to be, need to be upgraded as quickly as possible with the different set of procedures and processes. Do you think that something is happening? Because earlier we were like looking at quantum computing coming into existence like after a decade or so, but it just suddenly came out this news in the market, and it's everywhere. And we are talking on this webinar. Definitely, people at strategic level definitely will be working on it and thinking scenarios, especially when we are talking about importance of passwords. If cryptography is in question now, when with quantum computer and processors, how this can be tackled in recent future, coming days ahead of us. Can you just give us a bit of information?
Okay. So basically, the first thing which you were talking about, the chip which has recently been introduced by Microsoft, that is called Majorana 1. So Majorana 1, they say that it's a quantum processor, a quantum chip, and it can process so many qubits, which are just like our classical bits. So one thing we should keep in mind that although this is one of the milestones or the achievements which a number of tech giants are trying to achieve, but still we are far away from the generic quantum computer. But of course, up to certain extent, they are able to, utilize or harness the power of, quantum technology by achieving, bringing it into the form of a chip and by acquiring a very high processing. So one advantage of the quantum computing technology is that you would be able to achieve a very very high processing, millions of times faster than a supercomputer which exists today. And not only Microsoft, but there are other tech giants, including the Google and Amazon, and D-Wave, which is the pioneering company, and the company which I visited in 2010 in Canada, Vancouver. And at that time in 2010, they showed us that they got a successful quantum computing on 8 qubits. So more than 200 qubits or 100 qubits, which has just been announced by Microsoft, or sometimes Google, and also IBM as well. They have also claimed, and they have introduced a number of chips like this. So in 2010, the D-Wave company it introduced a quantum computer with 8 qubits, and I witnessed that with my own eyes. I experienced that calculation there. So but the point is, there are consistently improving results in the domain of quantum technology to achieve very high processing. But of course, for a complete generic quantum computer, we have to wait for certain more years. Now the second thing is, how does it concern or impact on the cybersecurity or the cryptography? So the point is, our all cybersecurity systems, all cryptographic algorithms, they are most of the time they are computationally secure. And the meaning is that they are secure because to break them, we need a very high level of processing, which we cannot achieve using even the supercomputers of today. So if the supercomputers of today would try to solve the problem of breaking the cryptographic algorithms, then they would have to work for example, 1000 years or more. And that is, practically acceptable security. So the quantum computers, why they are called threat against the cybersecurity systems and the cryptography? Because high processing, if you achieve that, then of course you will be able to solve the cryptographic algorithms or the mathematical problem which are behind that. And the work which could have been done in thousands of years, quantum computer will be able to solve that, to work out that in few minutes or seconds. And of course that would be a threat for a system. So that is quite logical. But uh, side by side, the scientists are also working on a class of algorithms or the mechanisms which quantum computers would not be able to solve, even if we will be having a full-fledged quantum computer. And for this, the post-quantum cryptography has emerged, and NIST has started working on that, and it has also released certain algorithms of post-quantum cryptography. And recently I just came to know very interesting news that China in parallel has announced that they do not rely on the NIST recommendation, and they will make their own post-quantum cryptography standard, and they will make their own algorithms. So it's all about the fight of cat and dog, and never-ending war between the code breakers and the code makers, and it will continue. And we will also see the results in the near future like this.
Indeed, it is. It is. This is the way it is. I completely agree with you on this. I've gone through the details China has came up with because of this Cold War. Now it has been shifted between these two giants instead of the previous rivals for a long time, and we all know it. And we should just stick to our agenda of today's discussion instead of discussing Cold War in public forum. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Saab. It's really very informative what you have explained, quantum computing, especially because it is the topic of today and tomorrow. Definitely, This is what we all, I don't know if maybe in our lifetime or maybe in our kids' lifetime, it's going to be the reality. And as you mentioned, generic machines are going to be in the market for use. And definitely, accordingly, the bigger the lock is, the bigger the key they make. Anyway, let's move forward. The last but not least, the question I have in mind to ask you before we conclude our today's session. What are the common and biggest mistakes people usually make with the password security?
Yeah, like it's the essence of our whole discussion that, never share your password with anyone, and also never store your password or write your password in any file, which someone can, easily open on your system. For example, if your file is not encrypted or it is not password protected, then you should not keep your passwords in that particular file. And also, as I told before, that never use your official credentials, your IDs and passwords on the unofficial platforms, like as I told you before, like gaming platforms or the shopping platforms and so on, which are not standard. So try to keep your passwords as confidential as possible. Do not share in even in joke with your password with someone else. And if you are, for example, on somewhere where there are multiple people and you have to do something, and you come up on a point like someone has to do something on your system, and you just give him your password for certain duration of time. No. And we have to avoid this. Like sometime it is difficult to say that I cannot share, I'm sorry, I cannot share my password. But this is the standard practice which we have to follow, that never share your password with anyone else. Never write your password in any file or anywhere. Always keep your password separate, official and unofficial. Never use your IDs, even email IDs which are official. Never use them on other platforms as well. So these are the few things, or maybe there are some more points. Overall, we have to be cautious, be careful, because we are living in the edge, we are living in the era which is digital. And the digital facilities and the digital gadgets are on one side, they are helping us, they are improving the standard of our life. But on the other side, there are more improved techniques to hack it, or to do any kind of theft on your devices. So always be careful and follow these practices. So I think this will greatly help.
Indeed, it will, Dr. Saab. And our last question in the poll was that if you receive an email from your bank asking you to reset your password via link, what do you do? And the highest number of answers, we ignore it and contact my bank directly, which is very good. 68%
Yes. Yes.
has answered this way.
Yes,
Yes,
we make
it's
it
very
your,
good.
lifetime principle that, if from any kind of platform or some automated place or somewhere, you are asked to do anything with your account, please do not do it. Always go to the standard interface of your account. For example, if someone is asking you, click somewhere and do something, no, don't do this. And even if it's from ABC Bank, then just hold and then go to the official website of your bank first, and clearly see that you can see the name, complete name, carefully on the in the address bar of your web browser. And then you provide your ID password, log in there, and then you will be provided the option to change the password or whatever you want to do. So never click on the links, never click on the links. Okay, directly go to the website, do whatever you want by providing your own credentials.
Yeah, at least you have to do due diligence in such emails when you receive. because you should be aware of the nature of such emails, which are fall the category of phishing emails. Bringing you in a trap where you have to click on a link, as Dr. mentioned, that you don't have to do that. Just make sure that the email address is valid and you're getting it from the right person, because usually phishing emails, major factor is that they are in hurry, urgent. They force you to take necessary steps without going into a thought process. So just don't get hurry. Nothing is going to happen bad. Such an email landed in your email inbox. Follow the instructions
By
which
default,
Dr. has.
yeah, just let me add, by default, just feed in your mind that default no. You should have default no in your mind about anything. If someone is asking through email or through phone or whatever, you should be in the default no mode. Okay. And and after that, you can just simply investigate and go to the standard way of doing that, and then do this.
And Dr. Someone asked a question. It's Abdur Rahman Siddiq. Please, if you can please address the questions they asked. We have two
Okay,
more
so
questions.
is this the okay question?
And
The
let's
second.
suppose we still
Okay.
password
Let's
using
suppose
Google
we
password.
create a password using Google Password Manager. Like if we want to log in somewhere else where we don't want to log in to our account, like public spaces, so wouldn't it prove as a hindrance? Okay, suppose you password using Google Password Manager, like if we want to log in somewhere else where we don't want to log in to our account, like public spaces. So yeah, so the point is like the password managers, most of the time the password managers which you use, you should use it them on your own system. Okay. And do not mix it on the things which you are doing on the public places, on the platforms which are used by public. I never recommend anyone to to provide your credentials on any, like for example, when you come in the situation where you have to provide your credentials, login ID, password into to open your email account on a public system, so that could be quite dangerous. And you have to be very, very careful, and by default you should not do this. Okay. But the password managers which you are using, and assuming that you are on your own system, then of course yes, password manager will be having the record of your user ID and password and the platform for which you created that account. So if you have created that account, and you want to open that particular platform or the facility which is available online, then of course password manager will be utilized for that. So if I could understand correctly your question, so this could be the answer. And the next question is, what if we send passwords to ourselves in WhatsApp? So that is again dangerous. I never recommend it. Never send your passwords through emails, or through WhatsApp or any other online platforms. Never do this. Okay. There is no need to share your password with anyone else, and or of course to remember it. What people normally do, that they just write their passwords and on the WhatsApp chat, and they send it by themselves. So I would not recommend it. Like maybe someone else will just have a chance to look over the screen of your WhatsApp when it is open, and he would be able to see what is your password. So better to keep your password in the encrypted files and password protected files. So this is the last question which is asked by Mr. Naeem.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. And I just came to my mind a recent incident. I visited with my son a mobile market. He wanted to replace his mobile, and he has given his mobile to a shopkeeper, and it was password protected. And the shopkeeper wanted to check his mobile if it's working properly or not, the way usually people usually do on mobile shops. And shopkeeper inquired from my son, "What is your password?"
Hmm.
And I stopped my son not to say the password, because I told the shopkeeper in reply that password was not meant to be exposed or said in or inform communicated to anyone. Give me the phone and let me open it for you. So that is what exactly you have to keep in mind, as Dr. Saab mentioned as well, that do not share your passwords with anyone. And as we wrap up today's discussion, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us in this insightful session on password security and account protection. Your engagement, your questions, and your engagement with the polls, your participation in the polls have truly enriched our conversation as well. A special thank you to Dr. Mubashir Khan Saab. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing
Thank you.
your valuable expertise,
Yeah.
practical
Thank
advices,
you
and
also for
deep
managing
on
all
different
these
insights.
inviting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your guidance on securing our digital lives has been invaluable, and we appreciate your time and knowledge. Cyber threats continue to evolve, and it's a cruel world we are heading into when it comes to IoT or cyberspace. But by staying informed and adopting best security practices, we can all play a role in protecting ourselves and our organizations. Let's take today's discussion as a reminder to implement stronger security measures and spread awareness within our communities. Thank you once again, everyone, and we look forward to have more discussions in the future. Stay safe online, and thank you very much. Dr.
Thank you.
Sir, anything you want to add in your closing remarks, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shakil Saab, for hosting this interesting event and organizing this call. And such kinds of discussions are extremely important for the public awareness, and we all need it. Like when we do discussion, it reminds ourselves as well on and also to the audience. And most of the time with this discussion, we all get some knowledge out of it. And that is quite helpful. And of course, apart from passwords, I would also like, as you are already planning, that you are doing a lot of things, and I highly appreciate that through the platform of Miral Cybersecurity. And whatever you are doing in the academia with the collaboration of the academia and industry, you are trying to spread the cybersecurity education and knowledge to the students and to the community at large, which I have already witnessed with your previous activities, for which I am really thankful to you. And I really appreciate your efforts, and I hope that you will go further with these activities in future. So wish you best of luck for that as well.
Inshallah, sir, we will, and that is what we are focused on. And thank you very much for adding value to the initiative Miral Cybersecurity has taken in academia, as well as spreading awareness all over the Pakistan and inshallah rest of the world. And we definitely would like your assistance in our endeavors for future. And
Always,
thank you once
always.
again, sir. Thank you once again. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Assalamu alaikum and Allah Hafiz.
Wa alaikum salam. Allah Hafiz.